knowing when I found out that he had terminal cancer, it actually kept me up, most nights, and I couldn't sleep, and there, I was, tired and groggy, and everything else, because one of the things that bothered me the most was that he was in pain,
Right.
right? And there's nothing that I could have done, although we had taken him to the hospital, months before. No one ever told him
Mm-hmm.
that he had cancer. They were just like, make sure you go and see a specialist,
Mm-hmm.
and this is your date to see the specialist. And so we took him to the hospital a couple of times, within that time frame. And of course, they just gave him pain meds, sent him home. And then one day I came home and I was like, no, man, I'm taking you to the hospital. And I brought him, and they kept him the
Mm-hmm.
first time, and they let him home. But the meds they gave him, we didn't know that time either,
I know.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sorry, we knew that time that he had cancer. We didn't know to what extent until a couple of days later. And then I went out of town for a graduation, came back on a Sunday, and I looked at my brother. I said, "You're in the same position when I left. That I came home. You're in that same position when I went to his apartment." I said, "No, partner, we're going back to the hospital."
Mm-hmm.
And he never made it back from the hospital. He died at the hospital.
Well, Mike, quite a few times you had asked me to assist you to assist him
Mhm.
in taking him to work, and I'm not a doctor, but I sensed something was wrong,
Mhm.
and he wasn't really speaking about it. And I used to try to talk to him. He would talk. He would laugh at some of the things that I was saying, and he would tell me a lot of time, Mr. Wallace, you know what? You got a good sense of humor. I don't believe that, bro, because I would have been a comic relief,
Mhm.
you know. And we would just laugh and talk. It took me 10 minutes to get him to work and stuff like this here. And I enjoyed him.
Yeah.
He
Well,
was a good guy.
well, I can say that, to be honest with you, man, he suffered. He suffered a lot.
Hmm.
And this is before I found out. Like I said, before I found out he had cancer, when we were pushing to take your loved one to the doctor day. I'd
Hmm.
taken him, to the doctor and to a clinic and to do blood work and stuff like that. But the extensive stuff that he needed, we couldn't get that because of the type of insurance that he had,
Hmm.
right? Which made me, which is what I spoke about on the last show. So, I'm going to continue to reach out to people and tell them, take your loved one to the doctor. You don't need to go through what I went through as far as watching my brother go down, losing the weight that the pain that he was in. He still had his mind with him, but I constantly watched him, in pain. And like I said, that kept me up at night.
Hmm.
Most nights it kept me up. And early in the morning, I'd go back to the hospital, sometimes be there for 6 in the morning to catch the doctor.
Yeah.
Because they have
do
busy
early
schedules.
morning. They do
Yeah.
early morning schedule.
Yeah.
With listeners and you and Wiley and brother Mike on that issue of cancer, that is the number one going on in Louisiana. They got not only, we aware, I happened to be the pleasure a week ago with a cancer doctor stood up in a situation where he said they need to be tested. Every person he checked, they was terminal for, he couldn't do anything for them.
Hmm.
So they got an Ocean clinic. This doctor, I can't remember his name, but he spoke about that. They need to get tested and regular tested and checked for cancer. Now, the cancer is one thing, but they got clusters of cancer all across the state, especially in the Gulf region, where oil and gas and petrol is. And a lot of people need to do health studies in the area. Because I know them doctors are seeing all these effects, but they're not saying that.
Right.
And that's wrong. And we in the 50th percentile when it comes to healthcare, education, economics, child mortality rate. Man, we ought to have a rake, get us a rake and rake all of them out of office up there in Baton Rouge. What's wrong? They did with the big, beautiful bill coming up.
Let me tell you.
Impact the healthcare. We already behind.
Let me tell you, Brother Paul, these lobbyists are no joke, man. They bring in a bunch of money, and they can delay, they can deter, they can convince people to do what they want to do once they're throwing that money behind them. You know, I said this a while back. You know, when you get I call them a freshman politician, their job is to get elected. After they're in office, their job is to stay in office. So their priorities change. They learn the rules of the trade, right? Which is, this is what you have to do. These are the people you need to meet with. This is the organization that you need to, to keep happy, because as long as, they got you got their agenda, they're gonna keep you in office.
Yeah, well, let me add one to you. This is your seat here. This is where you sit at. Don't move until we let you move.
Yeah. And look, this is a true story.
You window shopping like we used to do back in old school. On Friday nights, he goes window shopping. But it's a mannequin. Oh, their clothes look good. But guess what? It's on a mannequin. You want them clothes. But guess what? On that mannequin, he can't walk and can't talk. Just nice and looks good, but he can't walk and can't talk.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to call any names, man, but I actually sat with a politician several years ago because there were some things that I wanted this person to look into, and it's all neighborhood, type stuff, some rules to look into. And this person and I were talking, and this other person walked in, didn't even knock, just walked in, because we having a closed door conversation, and didn't even acknowledge me, but told the politician, this is what I want you to do, blah, 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 blah. And the politician was like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, got it. And I looked at this and I was like, well, man, who's the politician here?
Yeah.
Right? So that showed me right there. This person was caught off guard, right? But the person that walked in, in my opinion, you were bought and paid for.
Yeah.
Right? You were bought and paid for. So there's nothing that we, the little man and women, could do because this person was bought and paid for. And I'm telling you, I saw this and heard this with my own eyes.
On this part just to walk in on your private conversation.
I didn't, because I didn't matter. Because I did not matter, right? So let me finish this. I am I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, 2-time or twice cancer survivor. I know,
that's beautiful, man.
Yeah. I know other people that have had cancer. I constantly find out. I found out the other day, man, that a cousin called me to give me her condolences that she had cancer 2 years ago. I didn't even know about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's everywhere, man. And it's not just prostate, not just colon, not just thyroid, throat, stomach. You're talking about skin cancer. You're talking about cancer is cancer.
Yeah.
Right? Cancer is cancer. So once again, we need to make sure that any little ill that we feel, we need to go and get checked. Because, we got to take our own health care back into our hands. If that means we have to sit here and argue and fight and bite and kick and scream with our doctors and our insurance companies, that's what we need to do. And I'm going to tell you, you better do it now before this big, dumb, ugly bill take place, because people are going to be kicked out of their insurance coverage, and or the policies are going to change, and you're going to pay for stuff that you can't even get seen about.
And listen, folks, you get a lot of scam calls, about this health care bill is coming in. You could get this amount of money every month to pay for utilities, buy groceries and stuff like this here. Watch those calls, because those calls are scam calls. Don't get overexcited. Don't get something, you feel that you get something for nothing. If you have a good Medicare plan right now, stick to it. Don't worry about what somebody else trying to offer you to make you.
It's too good to be true.
Yeah, too good to be true. It ain't true.
Now, let me say this. There's a person that I want to do a spotlight on. I've been wanting to do this for a couple of weeks, but hadn't had the opportunity to do it. And I wanted to recognize Dr. Ernest Kitchen Jr. As a legend, living legend in our community. He was one of the founders of Pride Plaza right, which was a specialty medical facility on the north side of town.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Kitchen has gone out of his way, made it his sole job to make sure that kids get quality education. He's one of the people that make sure that scholarships are being given to kids. At certain times of the year, he'll put out an application to these kids to apply for scholarships to go to school. Hopefully, it's a medical school, where they can spread their knowledge of helping people and help people. So I want to just spotlight out to Dr. Ernest Kitchen Jr. So if anyone knows who Dr. Kitchen is, give him his flowers, please. Let him know that we thank him for what he does, and I want people to understand it's not just our children that he's helping. He's helped other people to get into medical school, right? Get to be accepted, into medical schools, and these people turn around and show love by being the best they can be by taking over programs because they're offered the programs because they've done so well. So he has a good ear, he has a good eye for people. He helped sponsor one young lady, I want to say maybe about a year ago, when Oshner started this nursing program that Oshner paid for through UL. He was instrumental in getting this young lady into this program, and she graduated a couple of months ago. She just got her scores back from the state. She blew it out of the water, right? She passed, and she's going to be a nurse. So Dr. Kitchen is responsible for people fulfilling their dreams or getting to where they can fulfill their dreams. So if anyone knows Dr. Kitchen or you see him anywhere, please give this man his flowers when you see him, because people don't realize what an impact that he has had on this community.
Even if he was your doctor at one time.
Yep.
I've always knew him. I knew him from his people that was in Kenton Funeral Home.
Kenton Funeral, that was, it was his parents, if I'm not mistaken, that started that.
And they all did well, and this is what Dr. Kitchen is all about, making sure that somebody else is doing well that need to do well or want to do well, because everybody don't want to do well.
And I can tell you right now, the man can talk your head off. The man has knowledge, and he has struggles that when he first started, he struggled. He'll tell you how racism played a big part, how they tried, LSU. Yeah. He tried to go to LSU, and and he'll tell you where he had to go, and how LSU basically, shunned him and whatever else. But the man has knowledge, just like you, Wallace. You have a lot of knowledge. Seriously, you have a lot of knowledge of what went on in Lafayette back in the day, of people, of buildings, of historic sites and all this stuff. You've helped people, when there are campaigns and everything else. So, you and Dr. Kitchen are pretty much the same, because you've both put forth the effort for other people. So, and I have to commend both of you guys for doing that. But the spotlight today is on Dr. Kitchen.
And every time I see him, he always shake my hand, give me a brotherly hug and things like this here, and he tell me, keep up the good work. Yeah. I say, oh, shut up, man.
Yeah. He always says, he says, you do better, we do better. Or we do better, you do better. So his thing, he has so much knowledge, man, and so much encouragement, and he has his achievements. Or you need a book. I'm surprised no one has written a book about Dr. Kitchen and all the things that he's done. And every time you see him, he's always wearing a suit, man. This dude back in the day, bro, I'm telling you, he must have been the sharpest pencil in the cup, man, because he's always dressed to the nines, and you got to give the man his love when you see him. I'm just being honest with everybody.
Yeah, and another thing, you guys get this Constitution book. I've been passing them out, and you know what, Mike? I asked two young ladies one day. I said, "Do y'all know anything about the Constitution?" Not really. I almost called their name, not really. I said, well, look, I got some books, Would y'all like to have one? Boy, those two girls jumped up and hollered, you got some books? Yes. And the last time I seen him, I said, "You've been reading?" Oh, yes. I didn't know all of this was in there. You know?
Well, you're talking about days back when you were, younger, when you went through the Constitution, man. But, once you get to, a certain age, you'll forget everything that you read unless you use it every day, and that's what happens, But even with the Constitution, our president is skating.
Yeah.
Along it and along the lines of the Constitution, and they're trying to change some things, and they are pushing the boundaries.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So don't let it go and say that the Constitution is going to stop him. If the courts are not stopping him, you think the Constitution? Because if nobody calls him to the carpet on it, guess what? And right now, with the way that the Republicans have taken over, nobody's trying to stop him. They let him do what he wants because midterms. Let's see what happens after midterms. Because
that's
right
when
now,
it's gonna get worse.
Because now they're kissing the ring. Because I'm pretty sure he says, we're gonna make sure you get reelected and whatever else. That's why the big beautiful bill won't take place or go into effect until after the midterms.
Yeah.
Right? So for everyone who thinks that, I can just vote my politician back in and everything's going to be okay, don't fall for, like they say, the okie doke.
Go and register to vote. Go and be ready to vote. You guys, make sure y'all don't put those niggas back in office. And I don't care what nobody say. Voting never did nothing for us. But if we go out here, Mike, and vote our conscience, not our cousin, not our friend, not our schoolmates, because a lot of times those people is not for you. They're for themselves and what they could get out of it. Vote somebody that's going to be for the people of who you're voting for. Go on, Paul.
Yeah, but you know what? Rather y'all hitting on a touchy subject for me. But like I say, I'm aggravated now because what's going on in our state and in our nation. Man, the world draws on what we do in a free nation, or what democracy is. It's an ugly thing, democracy. It's all back and forth. And, and it's a participation sport. We don't need no fence riders. We don't need no bench with splinters in their behind and just talking. We need to get in the game, get where you fit in. And one of the things, man, if we don't turn this around, we're in the most dangerous time in history. If you know anything about history, like I'm talking to the choir, talking to you and Mike, Brother Wilder, and also you. I'm talking about the general public with this silence that goes on in Louisiana with all these things that's happening to us and how we just sit back, say like Bob Marley. Go you watch why redemption song where you watch why you being robbed and steal from, but yet you stay nothing. You stay silent.
Look at our opening song. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed.
Right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Listen to the opening song. Listen to those words.
In the blue note.
Listen to those words, man. That's what's going on today. That is exactly what's going on today, Brother Paul.
Version. They got the hip hop version and they got John Legend. They added to in the modern times to that, but that's the legacy. Harold Melvin and the Blue Note.
Right. And I'm glad my God put that on my head to bring that song into the opening of the Community Matters show because I thought it was very fitting, Mike. We need to wake up. We need to understand what's going on in our life.
The power of music moved the nation.
Yeah. Well, they tell me we got more liquor stores than anything. And a liquor store don't do nothing but stagnate your brain to an extent.
You deal with the misery.
Yeah.
Just like all the festivals we have and good time things. That's how they deal with that misery. But you can overcome that misery.
Yeah.
But you just can't medicate yourself and they're going to leave. When you sober up, they're going to be right back facing you again.
I'm glad y'all are bringing this up, man, because, we're talking about, our neighborhoods and, you got 7 liquor stores within a a 4 or 5 block radius on University, if I remember correctly, and building another one.
Mm-hmm.
A liquor
Mike Miller, they got something else added to that equation. We got a church and bank on every corner with our people are dead physically, mentally, and financially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you have to ask ourselves, why in our communities are these businesses are popping up? You don't see them popping up in River Ranch, in other so-called money areas. You don't see those businesses popping up. You don't. I was in Bro Bridge a couple of weeks ago, man, in this store, and there's a lot of things in that store that I looked at and I was like, right. You got the so-called crack pipes. You got the roses in the glass pipes. You got the bongs. You got kratom. You got all this stuff that supposedly help people with their misery. Mm-hmm. It's all drug paraphernalia. Is all it is, right? So, but go start going south side and see if you see those stores. I saw something for the first time. I forget where it was. I saw a Dollar General and a Family, was it Dollar General and Family Dollar under the same roof?
Yeah.
Next door to each other?
Yeah. That's on the south side.
I was like, what? Because I always thought they competed against each other. But apparently not. They've learned that, hey, let's cooperate and still get the same money because they are. But why in our neighborhoods are we allowing these businesses to pop up? You know why? Because we're not handling our business with the properties that surround us.
Well, not just that. I was on the south side one day trying to get this watch fixed up. And I was talking to the jewelers, and when I started talking to him, he started telling me about all the homeless that they have on the south side. I said, oh, no, man, they don't have homeless here. He said, you want me to take you and show it to you? But I said, I thought it was just on the north side. And he said, the only reason why it's so populated on the north side is because it's in one area, Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Community Matters Show.
Yeah, you got two guys that talking right now. Prediction. The midterm 2026. The blue will take it back.
I sure hope so.
Thank you.
Thank you for that information. I sure hope so if we get out there and vote our conscience.
I think if people really understood what was in this big dumb bill and to actually see the harm instead of just saying, when the hearsay says this, read for yourself. Mm-hmm. Don't just take my words, find it, read it, and then you look at it and say, well, who is this going to affect? And take this, for example. I got children, okay? I'm good because I got insurance, I got, my retirement, whatever else, but my children.
Right.
So it may affect my grandkids, right? So which means that it circles back to me because I'm not going to let any harm come to my grandchild or let any, not really harm, but let, if my daughter can't afford anything, well, guess what? That means that I got to pitch in. So that now goes out of my retirement to take care of my child. So don't think that it's not going to affect me. It may affect someone in your family that you love, which means that inadvertently it's going to affect you.
Thank you. Not just that, Mike. We always looking for God to take care of things, but in God's world, He said, you take one, I'll take two. Yeah. If you don't take none, how you expect for Him to take anything if you're not putting your spiritual, God-given life into it,
Brother Paul, give me a sec. That was, I think it was one of these school shootings, and I think it was the principal that said, pray while you're moving your feet, right? Which
Oh,
means
no.
that you got to pray, but you got to put the work into it, is what you just said. So you have to work also while praying.
Right.
So you can pray for a better day, but you also have to work for that better day. So you're prepared for when that better day comes. You are able to walk open and through the open door, or to handle it better. You can't just say, I'm gonna leave it up to God and then that's it.
No.
You can't.
No.
Your knees and go to action after you've been praying. Nothing wrong with praying, but you can't be on your knees.
Oh no. Got to get up off your knees.
Yep. You gotta put the work into it.
Yeah.
So
Faith and the works. Without all three, it ain't gonna work.
yes. So
Talk is
So with this bill that's going to come in 2026 after the midterms, I just want people to understand, if things are bad now, don't take my word for it, but look what they're doing now. Look what they're doing now. Don't take my word for it. Look at it. They're telling you. They're taking away SNAP, right? SNAP.